How's it going, folks? Mark Julien, theapartmentnerd.com. Um, Back at you here, doing a little follow-up on the Rent.com debacle post that I did last week. Wanted to share with you some thoughts. So I shared that story about disputing the Rent.com bills and the frustrations with the process and really the overall Rent.com billing model. I explained how I felt the model is flawed, it's in desperate need of improvement, and there was obviously an overwhelming response to my post. I put it on Multifamily Insiders as well as my theapartmentnerd.com blog, and people are still viewing the video today. So soon after posting, I was contacted by the good folks at Rent.com with a comment as well as an invite to have a phone conversation and to discuss my concerns. And I just want to take some time to clarify some points from the original post as well as share what came of the conversation with Rent.com. So let me start by saying that it was always my intention to have a discussion with Rent.com in regards to their model. I really have not in any way advised anybody to not use their service, or I don't plan on canceling any of our services due to these frustrations. I just really feel like there's a lot of great brand equity in the Rent.com model and in that name, and they've just really built a great online platform for customers to search apartments, and it's currently the #1 visited ILS. So I just really feel like there's a lot to say about what they've done in comparison to many others, and that are competing for those same eyeballs. And as I said in one of my comments on Multifamily Insiders, I'm really just someone that's constantly seeking a better way, and I also expect that of my vendors, for them to always be innovating. And I know in talking to the folks at Rent.com, that's something that they're striving for as well. So my original post is really an effort to propel change. Obviously, it's a model that I feel it just needs to be updated, in my opinion. So anyway, I wanted to clarify a point I made in the original post about sending multiple bills. Rent.com definitely has a process in place for processing bills. When bills are disputed at the property level, Rent.com seeks upper management assistance to get them paid, so that they send actually delinquency bills. So I receive those at my level, and then I forward those on to our payables department. And they generally either get a copy of an invoice or they follow up and find another invoice. So that's kind of how part of that process works. So a couple of the invoices in part of the post that I was talking about were considered delinquent, and they were passed on to me. But I want to note that the reason they were delinquent is because our management site on staff was challenging those bills. So just wanted to note that that's one reason. So really due to breakdown in communication, really that's what kind of led to the bills being delinquent and being basically because they were contested. So we ended up actually having 3 different bills that were kind of in process, being contested, miscommunicated, and so one of our communities was suspended, and that's kind of how that all went together. So summing it up, really, it really was just a lot of miscommunication. I gave my on-site team direction to obviously check Rent.com on their guest cards, and that's how they would pay invoices. And Rent.com had some additional phone records, some other website data that they were using to help justify these invoices. But again, my team was just kind of following the instructions that I gave them. So I wanted to kind of clear that up as far as how those bills kind of went through the process. Not to say that it's not, I guess, still frustrating that you kind of, I think some of us have these processes we have to go through. So what's that all mean at the end of the day? The Rent.com model just really has a lot of moving parts. And from my conversation with their team last week, they agreed it's a challenging model for them to manage. There's more going on with trying to manage a Pay Per Lease model than processing in another way, but they have obviously seen great success, and they continue to try and improve the model. So I think that's obviously great. Some of the things they've been working on are just better tracking in general of their online data. They've obviously got phone numbers in place, email systems in place, but they're also looking in a way that they might even be able to integrate with property management software systems. So that could be a unique way for them to follow this as well, and track that. So one other thing that they shared with me was just that I really didn't know about, but I guess they kind of shared it with maybe my teams in other formats or through emails. But they've got some great training pieces they put together. One was in kind of a white paper, a one-pager, as well as they have a tutorial on Grace Hill. So if you use Rent.com, I definitely recommend you contact your rep and get that information about their training pieces. I know I just shared it with my team. So in the end, I know many of you agree with me that a pay per lease model definitely has its challenges. We all know that customers use multiple sources when looking for a new apartment, and honestly, only a percentage, and I can't remember exactly the percentage they told me, really actually even go back and claim their $100. So it's not even half the people, I believe, come back to try to claim their $100. So that all being said, it's really up to you to decide if the many moving parts model, I guess, works for you. And with any business and with many things, I really feel like good communication is a key component to success, of course. And the more moving parts you add to a model, the more likely the model is to fail, unfortunately. In the case of Rent.com, I just feel like their model has more opportunities to fail, as it requires many levels of communication, whether it be from the customer to the site, the customer to our teams, obviously just communicating things on a number of different levels. So I would really love to see them come up with a model that's a little bit more black and white. I feel like there's a lot of gray area in their model, and more resources continue to influence a customer's decisions. Um, and I feel like their model loses credibility with that, because there's obviously plenty of ILSs out there, and there's plenty of word of mouth, and now social media brings things in as well as rating sites and such. So um, I guess this really isn't their fault. It's just kind of the reality of the situation. And again, I guess I'd just like to share this is my opinion, and I do hope that Rent.com model will evolve, as I think they've built really something that's pretty remarkable. I just feel like they need to make it a little bit more concrete, a little bit more black and white model, so they can help maintain a base of satisfied customers ongoing. Um, I don't think they, and I know they don't want to continue on with frustrations as I talk with them. So um, I really look forward to seeing what they can come out with, because again, like I said, I think they've got a pretty solid brand there. So I wanted to thank uh, Peggy for her thorough comments on the post, the president of Rent.com, as well as I'd like to thank Chris Vargas, Bart Jensen, for taking the time to chat with me about their process and kind of walk through things together. So one thing that I wanted to kind of throw out there to everybody is, if you have any ideas for how Rent.com can improve their model, please share them right here. I know they would love to hear your thoughts, and I think we can all help them build maybe a better ILS. So that being said, I'm going to kind of end it for now, and appreciate you taking the time to listen and follow.